This movie tells a story of a couple who celebrates their son's birthday in the middle of the ocean on their boat. A violent storm hits, and it brings up hungry creatures from the depths, and they fight for their survival. This movie is the French sci-fi thriller directed by Frédéric Jardin, which is a film that promises an enthralling tale of survival against all odds, but instead delivers a bewildering and poorly executed mess that fails on multiple fronts. The film's premise, involving a family's desperate struggle after a magnetic pole reversal causes the oceans to vanish, sounds ripe for an engaging and suspense-filled narrative. However, the execution is so flawed that it undermines any potential the story might have had. The science behind the premise is laughably off, demanding that viewers suspend disbelief to an absurd degree. Instead of being a clever and genre-bending disaster movie, it feels like a parody of one. Acting performances range from passable to outright cringe-worthy. The dialogue, especially when characters switch inexplicably between French and English, feels forced and disrupts any sense of immersion. The characters make decisions so illogically stupid that it's hard to root for their survival, turning what should be tense sequences into moments of eye-rolling frustration. The cinematography and special effects, despite the film's low budget, are not the saving grace one might hope for. Instead of making the most of their constraints, the visuals often look cheap and unconvincing, especially the CGI creatures from the depths, which look more like they belong in a video game from the early 2000s than in a feature film. The pacing is another significant issue. The movie tries to pack too much into its runtime, resulting in a rushed narrative where character development and plot points are glossed over. The film oscillates between trying to be a family drama, a survival horror, and an action-adventure, but it never commits to any one genre, leaving the audience with a disjointed experience. The music score, meant to add tension or emotion, feels out of sync with the scenes, either amplifying the melodrama to an unbearable level, or failing to elevate the stakes when they're supposed to be at their highest. In terms of horror or suspense, the movie lacks both genuine scares and the tension required to make you care about the family's plight. The threats they face, both human and monstrous, are introduced and resolved with such haste and lack of consequence that they might as well be footnotes in a much larger and better story. Ultimately, this is a film that doesn't live up to its title. It's a survival movie where you end up wishing the characters would meet their end sooner rather than later, just to put you out of the misery of watching. It's not worth to spend time to watch this. We do not recommend this movie at all.